everyone, this is Mrs. Hurley. I am making a video today to talk to you guys about some of the databases that we have available in Fairfax County, and we'll talk a little bit about why we use them and how they can be helpful for you. The very first thing I want to show you is how we get to our databases, and there are a few different ways, and I know sometimes it can seem like there are a lot of steps. You can either get to them through basically three different ways. You could go to our Fairfax County school webpage at Willow Springs. You could just go to the Fairfax County website for public schools, or if you know how to get to our library catalog, you can also find them that way. So I'm going to go to Google just to show you quickly, and you could really enter any of those three things I just said. You could enter FCPS Library Catalog, you could enter Willow Springs Elementary School, or you could enter Fairfax County Public Schools. And if you type those in Google, any of those places would get you there. So I'll just show you that kind of quickly. If I just type FCPS Library Catalog, you can see it pops up. Okay, so it's the first entry right here that I click on, or I could actually click on this one below. If I click on it, it's our library catalog, but the one thing that you should notice all the way on the right-hand side is that it says FCPS Online Databases and eBooks. So I can just click on that right away, and it will take me to where all of our databases are. Okay, let's try that another way if that's not the way I end up going. So in addition to going to our library catalog, if you type in Willow Springs Elementary School, and you click on our website, and you go to library, okay, again, it will take you to our catalog, and you just can click on it from there, okay? And then, or, one more try, if you click on Fairfax County Public Schools, and you want to go through that way, you can click on that library link, and then you would select the databases. Okay, so any of those three ways will take you there. When I'm at my house, if I need to use them, I normally just hit FCPS Library Catalog because it's the fastest to just get right there. So here we are. This is where we can find all of our databases and ebooks that we may want to look at for research. I know sometimes that there are a lot of databases on here and that can seem really overwhelming. If you want to look for a database that's good really for elementary school, which is really what you guys should be selecting, you can always go where it says by school level, and you can click on the ones that say elementary. And then the only ones that it will show you are the ones that are suitable for elementary school. So all the ones that pop up for elementary are ones that people have found to be useful doing research in all the way from grades K all the way through 6. Okay, so that's something that may be helpful for you if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed by all of the choices. Now, having said that, there are some few that I go to all the time when I am talking to kids in the library about where to research. So the big ones that I use the most are Britannica, and you can see it's right here under Britannica School, or World Book. Those are the two biggest that I use. Obviously, we can use Mayan as well. All right, that's another one that's in here. So all of these, just to show you, go down in alphabetical order. And again, you can click to see all of your options through the pages. This is a good thing to do if you are having trouble. I know sometimes people have trouble with the spelling of one of our databases, where you can just scroll all the way through and you will find all of the ones that are appropriate for our grade level, okay, or our elementary level. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. And a lot of times people cannot spell Britannica correctly, but there it is at the top of my list. So I can just click on it. I just want to kind of show you an overview. Anytime you go to a database, you do have to scroll all the way down and click Go to Resource. And this has been popping up recently. It shouldn't be doing this at school, but if this ever happens, because you can use this at home too, I am typing Fairfax, and it will let you in. That is the same for World Book, Britannica. Most of the databases are Fairfax if you need to log in for any reason. Okay, so just kind of remember that. PebbleGo is the only one that's different. It's FCPS, and that is the only one that you will need that might be slightly different. All of the other ones just go with Fairfax. So remember that if you ever need that little login. So here we are on Britannica School Elementary, and It has a bunch of different features we can use. I know that we saw this before last year and we had some work with it, so I just want to remind you of a few things. I'm not going to take you through everything. If you are looking for encyclopedia articles, okay, that give you specific information on general topics, you can see those articles are right here. If you ever need an atlas for anything, if you're looking for the locations of things, or if you need to know precipitation or climate in a certain region, the atlas would be what you need to go to. If you're doing obviously a research project on a person, biographies may be where you need to go. That's for just kind of general exploring. If you know specifically who you are looking for or what you're looking for, you can just type it in the search key right up here. So let's say I was looking for, I'm just going to pick George Washington. I don't know what made me think of that, but that's what we're going to pick. Notice as I'm typing, it starts to give me suggestions of who I mean. Okay, so I can just click right there. And a few reminders about Britannica. Lots of things that I can do, right? It has different sections that I would have to click on to read depending on what it is I'm looking for. It allows me to print it if I need to do that. It allows me to, if I want to save this article for later and have access to somewhere else, I could always email it to myself. Remember that you each have a Gmail account, being a student, that you could send it that way and save it to yourself. The one that we use the most is the little box with the check mark for citations. Remember, every single thing that you are looking for, you need to have a citation if you end up using the source for information. And remember, when you use the databases, it makes your life so much easier because the citations are all already there. You don't have to create anything. So all I have to do, let's say I used this article, I read through it, and I used it, and I found some information that I plan to put in a research project about George Washington. Well, I need to cite it. So I click on my little button right there with the check mark that says cite, and it pops up. Most of the time, we use this first one that just pops up. So you would just have to copy right there, the whole thing, Control-C, and then you would hit Control-V or paste it wherever it is that it needs to go. Whatever document you're having your teacher's having you put your citations is, that's where you'd want to do it. And remember, every single article you use has to have its own separate citation. So any of these things I click on, this is still all going to be under the same citation. But if I go back and I find a different article entirely, well, then I need to have a new citation for that. So let's say I go to level 2. This is a little bit of a different article. It has different things. So it would require a different citation for what I did. Okay? So don't forget your citations. I know sometimes we use other materials, like websites or books that don't necessarily come with their own citation. So I want to remind you that if you are using, let's say you have a book that you found that's really helpful on George Washington and it has lots of information that you need and you take some notes on that, then you need to have a citation for it. Well, one of our databases helps us create that citation. We worked on that a little bit last year, but I know that can be hard to remember. And remember, that is World Book Student. Okay, so I'm back to my databases. World Book Student is a good place to look for information, but it's also the place you go when you need to cite your sources. So here it is right here, World Book Student. Remember, scroll down, go to Resource. It's taking a minute to load. Sometimes that happens. So now we're into World Book Student, and you'll notice it looks a little bit different than it looked last year. But down here at the bottom, it has the thing called Citation Builder. So that's what we're going to have to use every time we come to using some type of source that we don't already have a citation created for us. So we go to Citation Builder, and then you just select what it is that you're doing. Are you doing it from a website? Are you doing it from a book? It will give you different questions depending on which one you pick. So let's say we pick book. And then remember, it will take you through the list of things that we need to fill out about the book in order to create the citation. Remember that it is okay to leave some of the things blank. Okay. Oftentimes, page range or edition number, those don't really apply to most books. So most of the time, those would be left blank. Sometimes we don't find an author's middle name. That's fine. Sometimes we need to add more than one author because there's more than one author who wrote the book. You fill out as much information as you can on the topic, okay? And then down here where it says select the medium, all that means is this a print book, something you can physically touch, something that you can check out from the library, or is this a book that was online, like an ebook or something on Mayan. Okay, so whether it was print or online depends on what you found. So you select which one it is, and then you hit Create Citation. Again, it will pop up. You highlight it, Control C to copy, Control V to paste wherever it is that you want to go. Okay, so we've talked about the databases that are the best to use. Mostly we stick with Britannica School and World Book, but don't forget that you can change the filter to just make it elementary school databases. It's always important to have that citation in. Remember, databases have a citation included. If you need to create one, then you're going to have to come to World Book Student in order to create your citation. And other than that, the last comment I want to make is just be sure, check with your teacher about where it's okay to do research and where this person may want you to stay away from. There's lots of information out on websites that are not always the best or most accurate information. So normally when we are looking for websites to do research on, we tend to stick to ones that end with, instead of something like .com, we tend to stick to ones that say .edu or .gov, because those are ones most of the time that have been heavily edited and checked for accuracy. Remember, anyone can really create a website and put anything they want online, so we have to be very diligent and remembering that not everything we see online is true. Okay? So keep that in mind as you're researching. If you have any questions, you're always more than welcome to come and ask me something. Good luck with your research project. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to come up with.